Welcome to your daily dose of hope. I'm Phyllis Nichols, and I'm glad you're here. Before today's message, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who's listened and reached out with encouragement and support. It's really nice to hear that this is resonating with you too. Today, I'm going to share some books that talk about both the concept and the practice of hope and resilience. There's a lot of good books out there. I'm just sharing some that sort of just came to my mind first. And yeah, we'll go from there. So the first one is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It's a pretty famous or popular book. I guess it's been around for years. It was written back in the 1940s. I read this a long time ago and found it inspiring, although I don't think I could relate to it as much then as I can now. His story is pretty relevant, though, even though it was written so long ago. In case you don't know who Viktor Frankl is, he was a medical doctor. And in 1942, he became a prisoner in a Nazi concentration camp during World War II. He published the book in 1946, and it's about his personal experiences and the observations of the others who were in the same situation. As a psychologist and doctor, he really took this, he just was really observing, the people that did well and managed the stress and the horrors of the situation better than others. And his experience solidified a theory that he actually already had earlier in his life before this experience, that humanity's primary motivational force is finding meaning in one's life. And, that appeal, I think, is hopeful and also universal, right? Regardless of who you are, what your life experience has been. So the next three books are all written by Anne Lamott, and I was only going to share one of them, but I really couldn't pick a favorite, so I decided to just keep all three on the list. The first one is Bird by Bird, Some Instructions on Writing and Life. Now, this book is about writing, and she writes it as she's speaking to other authors and other writers and aspiring writers. But I found it to be about a lot more than that. She definitely talks about the craft of writing, but what I really liked about the book the most is how she shares this sentiment that life is really just all of these everyday moments added up over time. That just really clicked with me, right? Today, this moment, this next thing, that's life. That's what living is about. And here's a favorite quote from the book. When I read it, I wrote down a whole bunch of these quotes, but this is the one I picked out to share with you. And it goes like this. Hope begins in the dark, the stubborn hope that if you just show up and try to do the right thing, the dawn will come. You wait and watch and work. You don't give up. And obviously, I relate to that and find it very hopeful. The second book, also by Anne Lamott, is called Plan B, Further Thoughts on Faith. Now, this book, she just writes about her personal life and other things too, but she shares a lot of her personal life, things about her family, like what it's like being a parent, what it's like dealing with her mom who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and also just talking about the world and events that are happening and some things that are overwhelming and just trying to find love and humor throughout the whole experience. Again, I picked out a bunch of quotes, but this is the one I'll share with you, which is, hope is not about proving anything. It's about choosing to believe this one thing, that love is bigger than any grim, bleak shit anyone can throw at us. I couldn't love that more. I talked on another episode about choosing, and I think that's important, right? Choosing hope. Okay. The third Anne Lamott book, and the last for today anyway, is called Almost Everything, Notes on Hope. And of course, I had to share this one. So this is a collection of short stories in her style, obviously, with some humor and a little bit of cynicism. And she talks about, again, the bits of daily life that we all experience. And she really reminds us that, we're not defined by the crazy, irrational way we sometimes respond to things. Our past mistakes and misjudgments don't define us. They can stay behind us. She also talks again about the shape of the world and things that are happening, and still encourages everyone to sort of keep at it, right? Here's one of my favorite quotes from that book, which goes like this. Some days there seems to be little reason for hope in our families, cities, and world. Well, except for almost everything. And I love that. Okay, no more Anne Lamott books, at least today. The next book is called A Heart on Fire: 100 Meditations and Practical To-Dos. This book was a gift from my friend Nancy Sheed, who is one of the kindest and most thoughtful and encouraging people I know. And it's so like her to share such a wonderful book. And this book was a really great read, but it's also beautiful. It's got all kinds of illustrations and graphics. It's gorgeous. Danielle Koch Balfour is the author and the writer. This is one of those books that is just going to make you feel good every single time you pick it up. You can read it from beginning to end, but you can also just pick it up and sort of read anywhere along the way. You can flip through and find what you're looking for in that moment, which I really like. I love all of the book, really. It's so great. But since we're talking about hope here, Danielle outlines her 10 truths to cling to when hope feels distant. And that's a great place to start if you pick up this book. Lastly, I'm going to share a book that's on my list to purchase and read. I don't have it yet, but it's been recommended by a number of people that I know, and it was written by somebody that I know. So the book is called My Life Gets Better Every Day: Daily Affirmations to Create Joy, Improve Relationships, and Live Your Very Best Abundant Life. The author is Teddy Hicks. Teddy is just one of the most positive people that I know. I used to get a daily email from Teddy. She used to send out these emails every morning with this type of content, and it was so relatable and positive and helpful. She just has a wonderful way of framing things in a really simple and straightforward way that kind of just clicks. And other friends who have told me that the book reads a lot like that, and they find it really encouraging. I've heard a lot of good things about this from mutual acquaintances that know Teddy and have told me I need to get the book. So it's on my list. I'm going to get the book. I hope you'll check it out and check out some of these other books as well. You know, we can use all of these resources to strengthen our resiliency and remain ever hopeful.